welcome Ajay and Shruthi. Ajay is, you can go and with the handle which is Ajay184F in the testing community. He is well known, he's a co-founded the Weekend Testing, a worldwide movement for skill testing. Shruti is a software tester who loves to experiment and figure out ways to improve the product quality. She is driven by curiosity to learn new skills. Today, what we are going to speak about is managing testing with remote teams. How we can manage that testing. Also, if you want to check more about this, you can go to the videos down there to get more information. Okay, and once the session starts, we will have the question and answer going on in the Slido. So keep watching that. So I will just hand over to Ajay and Shruti on this.
Perfect, Nimish, and welcome everyone. I'm Ajay Balamurugadas, and super excited for this talk, managing testing with remote teams. And thank you, ATA GTR, for one more super awesome edition of Global Testing Retreat. And I have with me Shruti. Hi, Shruti.
Hi Ajay, thank you very much. And then I'm really excited as this is my first conference at ATA GTR. So looking forward to it. And then today we are talking about managing testing with remote teams. As we all are, what we are going through now because of the pandemic. Let's just move on and then see how a day in a tester's life was even before all the pandemic and COVID was there. We would just daily go to office, and then we would have stand-ups, meeting with teams like testers, developers. We would interact basically with everyone, where everyone would sit on the same floor, and testing activities, interacting with the products. We would start setting up our environment, devices and everything, and then basically just set up our environment and then start our testing, and then learning about the project and learning outside the work, where we would have all the guest lectures, sessions, everything set up in our offices, as well as we all had a great learning experience in that ways. And then any issues we would face, we would just go to our peers or the developers, wherein we would sit with them and then resolve those issues at that time only. And there was not just work, but there would always also a bonding outside work, where we would go on a team lunch or fun activities and other things. And then there were always a transparency in work, like who is working, my colleague, which task my colleague has picked up or which task I have picked up. So it would avoid duplicacy of work as well. But when the COVID came, how it actually impacted on the industry, on our testing industry, or on the other IT industries. Now everyone are forced to work as a distributed teams. We are all sitting at home, working from home, and then collaboration issues across project, where we wouldn't know, or the team or the members wouldn't know what others are working on, or what tasks we have picked up, or which this sprint items and everything. And then there were also, not everything is as bad as it looks. For few industries like pharma, there were multiple COVID related features which released to the market, which kept both all the team members, like even more testers, busy actually. And then sorry and more or less work on the industries like travel, wherein because of the lockdown and everything, the travel actually was cut down, or was blocked. Because of that, many industries like travel got a hit, and then there were very less work to that industry. And then let's come to how we can manage testing with remote teams. There are basically three main pillars, I can say: people, process and purpose. And if I go to people, which is the first pillar, working styles have changed. Each one reacts to work from home policy differently. Some actually like it, wherein they are at home, they are comfortable in their own place, and then they might like it to work from home. But some, that might not be the case, wherein they might not get that get that comfortable with at home, or all the disturbances and everything. So working styles have are different now. And check-ins, so basically do not check in only the official check-ins. Here it is also important to build up that connection between the teams, as we are now working remotely. It is also important to also talk to them outside the work too, as in, I read this book today, or I saw this movie today. It is very important to have that conversation other than work related. Also, if I talk about logistics, wherein not everyone is actually prepared to work from home, wherein we have internet issues, or we might not have a proper workstation setup. All those things do matter in terms of remote teams or remote testing, wherein we might not have our device set up and environment set up properly. And mood, sometimes there will be some days off days, and then sometimes you might not you might feel under the weather. So it's really important to understand and not expect everyone to be online all the time. So this is one main pillar, I would say. Ajay, would you like to take us through another important pillar of the remote teams, that is process?
Right. Thanks, Shruti. With respect to people, of course, you covered a lot. And with respect to what we kind of changed after coming to a virtual work environment, or the virtual work from home, is, start having virtual check-ins. Right. With virtual check-ins, everyone shared their plan for the day, and then there was the stand-up saying, "Okay, here is your plan. What are we going to do? Are you blocked?" And then we ensured that there was a separate channel or platform for raising concerns, and if you're blocked, what to do, all of that. See, what happens when we were in the non-virtual, the normal before COVID time, was if there was an issue, you would go to, your neighbor, tester, developer, programmer, BA, whoever it is, and then get the issue sorted. Right now you're not sure, you're like in a black box, right? You don't know who's online. You need to, even if it shows online, are they really online? Or if it shows offline, are they really offline? You have no clue, right? You have no clue if they are super busy, or they're having their breakfast, or they're actually working, or actually, and they don't need to be disturbed. So, right, you don't know. Whereas in a before COVID time, you could see that, oh, that person is busy talking to someone else, right? For example, Harsh is busy talking to Shruti, so you would not interfere, right? But in this virtual world, I mean, it is difficult. You don't know if the other person is talking or busy. So that's where, if you are blocked, what should you do? Is there a process? Is there a process in terms of escalation or highlighting it to everyone, right? So make that clear. And documentation plays an important role here, for the simple reason that the same question could be asked multiple times by multiple people at multiple different stages of the day. Yeah, fantastic. I hear the answer saying put everyone in the same group and talk. No, it's not so easy, especially with so many notifications coming in, and most of the default notification sounds are same. You don't know if it's a WhatsApp or a Slack or a Rocket Chat, right? So document that. Get a status update. With these kind of changes in the process, I would say let's look at the third pillar, which is super important, but not cared for enough. Management might easily say, oh, we encourage remote working. But if the mindset doesn't change, it is very difficult to have to manage testing with remote teams. If you continue to work in the 1930s mindset, oh, you need to report to me, you need to tell me what is it, you need to come here on time with this. No, it doesn't work that way. And luckily at Qapitol, we believe in these three values, and the management is super supportive. We have access to leadership. So even in the organizations where you feel like you need to manage testing with remote teams, there needs to be a change, of course, in the testing teams mindset, and there needs to be a change in the management mindset as well. And when that happens, then you can succeed. Without that, without access to leadership, without having that focus, laser like focus on delivery excellence and service orientation. When I say service orientation, we are a testing services company, right? So we don't present ourselves as vendors to our clients. We, in fact, work as partners. So with this kind of mindset, right? So people is covered, then you have covered the process, and then purpose is covered. So with these three pillars covered, uh, be assured, remote working, remote managing testing with remote teams is easy. Now, a quick poll: are you spending more time on work while working from home or less? You could just type out your answers here in the chat, yes, no, or C. And your 6 seconds starts now. 6, 5.85, 4.25, 3, 1.86. Any no's? Right. So as you can see, there are like yes, more, definitely more time. Yes, yes, yes. Akshay, Anupam, more. Right. So with that, the next slides are super important for everyone who said yes and more. Right. There are some common mistakes because of which people are forced to work more, and I think Shruti, you should get started on this.
Yes, I would say, since this is my first project as a lead in the pandemic, and then working remotely, I am sure I've come across a lot of mistakes which I thought we could have avoided. That is only work. It is really not great to always keep working. You should also have your personal life. But I would also say, keep a core working hours, maybe 9 to 6, or 7 to 5, or something like that, wherein all the team members are working at the same time, so which would also improve our productivity. But that again, keep that work hours into that core hours only, and then which where you can actually manage the time very nicely, and improve your work as well, which also brings up that good vibes on the team, wherein you are not always working. And then burnout, if you are overworking, where for sure you will feel exhausted, burnout, which actually might cut down on the productivity as well. That is one thing which we should avoid. And expecting online all the time, since we are working remotely, we are not sure what the team members or the team is going through. Some of them might not have a proper internet, or some might have something else to take care of. In that case, expecting them online is not a good idea, wherein if the team is performing and then finishing their task on time, that is all it is required, I can say. And then too many catch-ups every half an hour or every 1 hour, if you are forcing the team, saying, okay, let's meet, I want to know the status, that is not the right thing to do. It's my personal experience. Give the team some space, give the team some time wherein they can finish their task, or like Ajay said, end of the day status is a good thing to do. Meanwhile, if someone goes through some issues, or someone is facing some issues, it is always good to catch up at that point of time, wherein otherwise we can always give them time, and then say, okay, at the end of the day, I would want to know the status. That is always a good thing to do. And then, Ajay, I see there are some of your favorite mistakes here. Would you like to share some thoughts on it?
Right. With that status update, I remember that joke. give me a update on the status and the progress on the update, and the the chain continuous keep giving me updates. I'm the super micromanager boss, right? So yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
my favorite mistake is the fake deadlines. I mean, why give fake deadlines? I mean, if you have hired smart folks, tell them the truth and they will surprise you with the good results. One of the mistakes that most managers do is give a fake deadline. You need it by Saturday, you will say you need it by Thursday or else the world will end. Why? Right? And in when people are working remotely, rumor mills are working overtime. If you don't communicate often, consistently, effectively, people share things like this faster than WhatsApp forwards. Okay, and sometimes we face this, and we luckily as a company we have this policy of transparency, and it's not just the big words, but the at ground level it is the truth, right? At Capital, so everything comes is transparent. Every message is transparent and communicated to everyone, so that will shut down the rumor mills to a large extent. And Shruti was talking about more catch ups, saying okay, give me status half an hour and off and all that. The other extreme forgetting forgetting that you have a team and no catch ups, zero catch ups. Right? If zero catch ups happen, then don't be surprised after a few months or weeks when you go and ask a update, they'll say, "Oh, who are you?" Right? So that happens. So don't get into that problem, and use the right mediums. If you want to answer in a one word, it's okay to pass on that message over WhatsApp or your communication channel, official channels, rather than write an email where the message is one word and the signature is 8 lines. Right? Think about it. Use the right medium. Fear of blockers. People are afraid. People don't give their best when they are afraid. Afraid of what? Usually failures. Okay, and there is no one who can learn without making a failure or making a mistake. So as management, as managers, as leaders, don't make this mistake of creating that fear within your team members of, oh, if you make a mistake, I'm going to take so and so action. No. If someone makes a mistake, ask, what can we learn from this mistake, rather than why did you make this mistake? Okay. So with these kind of mistakes, uh, you know, removed from our thought process. And one point about the mistakes, it is okay to make mistakes, but it is a crime to repeat the same mistake. So don't repeat the mistake, right? It shouldn't. Oh, Ajay told make mistakes. Of course, make mistakes. Don't repeat the same mistakes. Use the. Yeah, here are some tricks which will help manage teams and manage testing, both of it easily. Is use the tools, use URL shorteners, have things on quick access, pin them, star them. There are so many useful features that people are not even using, and then complaining, oh, I spent 8 hours, I spent 12 hours, I spent 14 hours. Of course, you will spend so many hours, because every time a manager asks for a sheet, you go on drive.google.com and search and all of it across 10 nested folders. You will take time. There is something called as bookmark. There is something called as starred in email. There is something called as pinning a folder. Please use that and then see how the time reduces. We are inefficient and then we complain, COVID, because of COVID only my working hours has increased. You see the irony? So the next trick is on the lines of meetings. No one likes a meeting, but everyone has to attend a meeting. Agree? Right? Gaurav Khurana, text expander is something where you can. I think you did that talk, right? Where you had a tool where you enter a text for a shortcut and it would expand. Text expander by name itself is a tool which, given a shortcut, would expand the text. Okay. So meetings, how can you avoid meetings is Don't avoid them. Make it shorter and effective. How do you make it? Is super simple. You heard that sound? Have the next logical question written out. How do you do that? Is what do you ask in a meeting? A task status. You want to know about the environments, mention that. And have all of these listed. You see those, I have grouped the rows. Okay, I have grouped and collapsed the rows. So you could click on it and then it would come. So you get the whole team's focus on that particular row number 5 now. Once that is done, then you move to say row number 34, and then you expand it, you fill it, so you can maintain it day by day. Okay, so everyone knows when you're talking about say issues, someone else will not jump up with environments. They know that environment is covered in row, so and so row, right? And the other trick, this is as recent as yesterday. If you see, I was sending a message to one of my colleagues saying, hi, so and so working with you in this kind of project. If yes, please email this. If no, do this, and thanks. The whole context is there here, rather than saying, hi, Harsh, and then I go on a break. Harsh comes back. He sees, hi, Harsh. He replies, hi, Ajay. And then he goes on a break. And then half an hour is wasted between us, right? Don't do that. So give the entire context in one shot. If the other person, when they come online or at the time, everything is sorted super quick, right? So with this, and of course, effective communication solves 55% of, maybe we should go back to that slide quickly.
Sorry, sorry, Ajay. We have a couple of minutes, so you can, wrap up in a couple of minutes if possible.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Effective communication solves 55% of the problems. Okay, and as testers, we know that deadlines always get shrunk. Don't worry about it. We are used to managing testing within those strict deadlines as well. Yes, Shruthi. Oh, this summary slide. Yeah, don't believe such unsupported non-contextual metrics. 55% of problems. Who said? On what basis? On what kind of problems? You are a tester. Don't believe such unsupported metrics. Shruti?
Yes, Ajay, I agree a lot because as we are testers, we should always be spectacle on things. And saying that, let's have a quick look on what we just discussed as a summary. It is not easy and not impossible at the same time to manage teams or managing remote teams. With a proper plan, everything set up, I think it should be a lot more easier than expected. And communicate often and effectively and clearly. The communication is the main thing here in the remote teams, wherein if we just don't do it, I think the team would be just unaware of what we are doing. So always communicate very effectively, just the way Ajay explained to us right now. And then catch ups plan judiciously. Always like we discussed in the mistakes, not too many catch-ups or no catch-ups at all is a mistake. And then having a planned, judiciously planned catch-ups is always a great thing in the remote teams. And then make use of right tools, wherein how you're going to communicate with the team could be like chat or WhatsApp or any organizational chat. And if you are going on a meeting, could be a Google Meet or any other meet which we can use, because virtual is a reality now, and then it might stay forever because we are few of us are really liking it. And then the main thing which comes here is trusting the team. Anything goes wrong, we might have to sit with the team member and then understand what's happened without just going ahead and blaming anyone. We should always trust the team. By saying that, I would like to thank everyone who has attended, and thank ATA GTR 2020 for giving us the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
We want to thank
so much,
Ajay and
Ajay and
Shruti.
Shruti. I think Nimish, you can take it out from here. You can showcase the questions which we have got for Ajay and Shruti.
Yeah. Thank you, Ajay and Shruti. It is a wonderful session, and I think most people have a lot of questions. So let's take up that. Can you explain the access leadership? They are upping away most of the times.
We are not able to see
Yeah.
the questions, but then I get your point in terms of access to leadership. And when these kind of things happen, testers don't worry, just go with the flow. So the question was access to leadership. How do you get access to leadership? Is see, it is both ways, right? You also need to communicate effectively, and the testers, I mean, the management also need to communicate effectively, and that comes when there is a good culture in the company, right? And luckily in Qapitol, everyone is a ping away, and yeah, we are fortunate. Thanks.
Yeah, we can take one more question. Some team members take independence too much, so you need a lot of catch up, micromanagement on them, and follow with them how to handle this.
Go
Yeah,
on, please.
actually, yeah. Ajay, would you be taking this?
No, I said go on, take it.
Okay, so yes, we do face these kind of issues, but in that case, I would, or what I did, or I would suggest is talk to the team member, understand what is going on, explain them that this is their responsibility and they need to handle this in a nicer way so that they understand. If they don't understand, maybe we might have to deal with them in a separate way, but then micromanagement might not be the first thing which we might have to do in such case. That is my opinion on this.
Okay, thanks. And one last question we can quickly take: how can we avoid mistake of fake deadlines?
Yeah, so to save time, I typed the answer out in the chat, and this is how you can save time and not work long hours.
Great, Ajay. Thanks for that.
Thank you very much for
Thank
hosting
you.
us, and thank you, audience. Thank you. Bye bye.